Hi, how are you today? Thanks for joining me. Today, this lesson is going to be about rainbows. Um, you're just going to need a few things. The things that you're going to need. You're going to need a CD, a blank CD, or even a used CD will work. A flashlight. I'm using a pen light. I think the pen light works pretty good. Some Airheads Extremes Rainbow Bites, and a jar with some water and some sunlight. The more sunlight, the better. The way I would start, I would engage the students with a hook with these guys right here. Of course, this is going to be for a first grade class, but you can really do it anywhere from the kindergarten to third grade level, just depending on how much information you're going to use. These are pretty good, just the way they taste. But the way I would start the hook, I'd be like, all right, students, who wants some rainbow candy today, right? And of course, all the students are gonna want some candy, and I would give them out the candy and give them a piece of candy, and then I would ask them, yeah, where do you normally see a rainbow outside of class, or after what event, after what happens? When do we normally see rainbows? And that would usually start the discussion, right? And so we would talk a little bit, and then I would read the literature. I'm gonna go ahead and read the literature first for us. And I have it here on my computer. I don't have the book. This book is called Rainbows. That's the name of the book, Rainbows, and it's from Epic. I'm sorry. Let me just shut off my computer. Just 1 second. Okay, I'll just hold it like this. So the story is called Rainbows, just Rainbows, and it is by Precious McKenzie. And there it is right there. So go ahead and Precious McKenzie. Rainbows by Precious McKenzie. A scientific look at how rainbows are formed and why we can only see part of them, and how your location determines if you see one or not. Okay, so the first page. The sun's light. What are rainbows? We cannot touch or feel a rainbow. Rainbows are made from sunlight and water droplets. So there's a little picture you could show them, and it's kind of hard to see in that picture, but you would say it's raining there, and you would say that there's rain mist there, and the sunlight and rain mist is what's making that rain. Right? So sunlight has 7 colors. Humans do not see the colors. To our eyes, the light is white. The 7 colors are red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. Now, in this picture right here, you would kind of want to point out indigo, and we'd go over this a little bit later in the lesson. Indigo right there is in between blue and purple. There's vocabulary for it at the end of the book that says it's a bluish purplish color. So you want to kind of go over that so the kids kind of understand the difference. Prisms, the next page. A prism breaks white light into 7 colors. This is called refraction. The prism refracts or bends. For the first grade level, bend might be a better word to use at first, but refraction, if you can make it happen, it's best. Or bends. The white light, so we can see the colors in it. And so this picture you really want to show too. Obviously you want to show all the pictures, but this picture is really good so you can see the white light going through the prism and refracting or bending the light and having the other colors come out. So one of the activities that we're going to do here in a second is going to show that pretty good, at least I think. Seeing a rainbow. When there are water droplets in the air, the sunlight reflects them. So just for the purpose of the video, I'm just going to read through it and not show any more pictures. The water droplets act like a prism. They refract the white light. Your location and the sun's position determine if you can see a rainbow. You might see a rainbow from the front of your school. People behind the school might not be able to see it at all. A rainbow is really a full circle of colors. From the ground, we can only see half the rainbow or the arc. And then some rainbow facts. A rainbow is visible at the angle that water droplets reflect the light, 42 degrees in the opposite direction of the sun. Sometimes airplane pilots fly above the Earth's horizon. That lets them see the whole rainbow. Many cultures have stories about rainbows. Some think seeing a rainbow is a sign of good luck. And as many of us know, the Bible depicts the rainbow as a sign of promise from God after the earth was flooded. So, real quickly, I'll just show this last picture. There's the picture glossary. Droplets are very small particles or ice or water. You want to show this, obviously. Indigo is a dark purplish blue color. Prisms. A prism is a clear glass or plastic that can bend light. And refraction. All right. And so that completes the book. Okay. So from there, I would move on. And the first example I would do, you want to make sure you have a little bit of light. The first thing, I would gather all the students around, and I would do this in one sitting. If you have 2 or 3 jars or 4 jars, you might be able to do it yourself, but depending on the grade level, first graders, you might want to be careful, especially if the jars are glass. So I would do this activity myself. Anyways, what you want to do is you want to grab a jar with a glass of water, about that much, about a third of the way. At least I think it works pretty good. You could probably play with that a little bit. And then I like to steady it, make sure the water's not wobbling too much. And then you lean it about halfway off the windowsill. And then you just start to kind of slowly tilt it forward, the front of it. And you can already see it coming out. It'll kind of sometimes come down the wall. But if you look at the bottom of the floor, there's that rainbow. And so you got red and yellow and blue and green. You can see most of those for now. Okay. And that's one of my little at-home students that you hear in the background. Go ahead, get some water. Good job. Be quiet, okay? So I'll go and show it one more time. And let the... There's a pretty good one right there. All right. All right. So that's pretty much how that one goes. That one's really good. The kids really love that one. They can actually, not physically touch it, obviously, but they try and touch it and play with it, and so that's a really great one for them. So this one is the one that the kids can try. So you can get a good amount of these CDs. Sometimes you can buy them in packs that they're already made. They come in something like this, with a little cover, and they're blank. And so you just buy like 10 of them, and they can rotate them. So I'm just gonna go ahead and show this one. This is basically the same thing. In this case, you would show the kids, okay, so the water was I can't think of the word here. Was what caused the refraction is the prism, okay? So the water is the prism. This, in this case, this is the prism, and the flashlight would be the sunlight. So the way you kind of do it is you kind of put it right here, and I like to kind of tilt it towards the wall, not completely right in front of it, just kind of like angled, like maybe 45 degrees, and then you just shine the light on one spot of it, and there you start to see it right there on the wall. Oh, I'm not getting it. Hold on. There we go. And then the rainbow will kind of come up, and you can kind of see it in this area, kind of getting it a little off right here. All right. There's another part of it. There you go. Let's see if I can move it, get a little better spot. There we go. And that one kind of makes just like a straight rainbow kind of type. But the kids can mess with this, and the darker you make the room, it's kind of light right here where I'm at, the better you'll obviously be able to see, and the nearer the CD. And you can even just kind of have them look at it like this. If you kind of just have them rotate it like this, even in some more light, or you put them like this, you can kind of see it. And this the same purpose is the light reflecting off the prism, or refracting through the prism. And so that's that. And so the kids will kind of play around with that. Now, going back to the beginning, during the hook, when you ask if the students want a candy, you would give them a piece of candy. And since these come in bites, you can give them 2 if you want, 2 little pieces. They're not too big, so you can give them 2 pieces if you want. But make sure they don't eat one at least. At least let them have one. So later on, you're gonna take them, and they're gonna get the CDs again. And I think this was kind of a cool way to understand this. But depending, it might be kind of difficult. Just depending on the child's understanding. But so, again, you could go back to the picture that we saw. Let me pull it up actually. And you can show them this picture right here. And then you could show them, so imagine that the candy, if on its side, so let's say it's on its green side, so if I put it like this versus like this, where we can see all the colors, then you would say, well, imagine like that the sides are all white. So imagine, you could say, see the little frosting on it. You could say, imagine that's not color there, you just see the frosting, like white light, right? And so you would say, look, when you take the white light and it starts to head towards the prism, right? The prism, the little hole, it goes through the prism, but you can see it's too thick to go through right now, right? So you have to bend it. And when you bend it, then it comes through the other side, looking like a rainbow. Huh? So I thought that was pretty neat. So again, just one more time, just so we can get it really close. Here's the light, and it's coming, right? You can even do it off of a flashlight or a bulb, or just off the sunlight. Like, here's the light traveling, and then it hits the prism or the water, right? And so it has to bend, refract to go through, and it gives us the rainbow. All right, so that's a really fun little activity, and then they can eat the candy afterwards, but they'll probably let them. Throughout that, we would be asking questions, as I'm doing the demonstration, and as they're playing with the CDs, asking them what they think is going to happen, and they should be answering questions about what acts as the prism and what acts as the light or the sunlight. And so in the jar's case, the answers you'd be looking for is you would want them to say that the water is the prism and the sunlight is the light, because it's actually sunlight. Not to get confused with the jar, the water would be the prism. And same thing with the CD. The shiny side is the prism, or the mirror side, and the flashlight is the light. And in this case, the rainbow candy would be the light. Okay, so also you want to go over the colors of the rainbow. That'd be a big thing. You would probably want to do that first. When you were reading the book during the literature, as it tells you the 7 colors of the sunlight, you would want to go over that, and you would want to, at some point in there, I would at that point say a good way to remember that is to think of the colors of the rainbow like a person, and that person's name is Roy, his middle name is G, and his last name is Biv, and so those will help us remember all 7 colors. So at the end for assessment, I would have them journal in their science notebooks, and it wouldn't be a journal; it'd be a drawing. I would encourage them to do it however they like, but I would give them an example just orally. I would say you could draw a sun on the top, even with drawing with some sun rays coming out, going through a water drop. You can make the water drop look big, and then after that, beneath the water drop, so it would go sun, water drop, and then beneath the water drop, you would do a rainbow color using the Roy G. Biv acronym. And then of course label the sun and the sun rays as the sunlight, and the water or the raindrop as the prism. And then the rainbow of course is the rainbow. So that would complete the lesson. And then any leftover candy you had, it would be your discretion to pass out as much as you wanted. And that would be it. And so that would be Rainbows by Isaac Hernandez. Thank you for joining me.